All right, everybody out there in Facebook land, everybody in YouTube land, everybody got me? Anybody out there to click and say you hear me? Do a radio check. Anybody out there? Can't see if anybody's online yet, but hey, good morning, everybody. It's the second show of the 2025 season for Pulaski Talks. Yes, we're back to Pulaski Talks versus Show Me Streamcast. Had a poll out there, and it seemed like the majority wanted to go back to Pulaski Talks, so apologize for the voice. Kind of raspy this morning. Maybe that's a result of the, what do you call it? Allergies, who knows? Anyway, I took my pills this morning, but anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody's back from church on this Sunday morning. Looks like it's going to be a glorious day. Looks like the weather's going to be, 63 degrees in February on this fine day. So anyway, once again, thanks for anybody's tuning in today, and if not, tuning in later. It's starting time right now. It's 12 o'clock noon. And hoping everybody will chime in. If you look below on the bottom right of your screen, you'll see the phone number. That's just for phoning in today. No text messages. My executive producer doesn't have thumbs, so that makes it kind of challenging to answer texts as a cat. So I'm messing with my mic to get rid of the S's, but it doesn't seem to be working very well, so we'll leave it as is. So if you have a question or you want to talk about one of the subjects that comes up, but just feel free to come in. You'll call in live. Everybody will hear you. Appreciate any constructive criticism or you want to talk or anything like that. But first of all, the purpose of today's show, you'll see on the schedule there today, was to talk about a few discussions, specifically transparency in the government, our hopes and dreams. Yes, I kind of made that up as a attention getter and stuff like that. And the topic may be somewhat controversial for some. And, sometimes you peel back the layers. You want to talk about things that aren't supposed to be talked about. You're asking questions and you peel back the layers from elected officials and office holders. And you want to know a little bit about what's going on behind the curtain. And you want to know where the dollars are being spent, and you demand accountability. And they're not used to having that accountability, and they don't feel like they should answer to anyone because they've been in a vacuum for so long and they don't feel like they've had to. So that's what maybe this will start the conversation. So the purpose of today is to open up that conversation, or better, maybe name it a can of worms, open up that conversation, seek answers, and demand accountability. And specifically, today's conversation started will be focused on our local government, our county office, not specifically any city government. I haven't engaged any of those yet. But before we go any further, I want to shout out to our sponsors, specifically Prue Law and the Prue Law Office down in Waynesville, right across from the courthouse. Mark Prue and the Prue Law Office have been our gold sponsors since I started this little machine going on here for now. This is our second year live. They've been with us through and through, and I can't say thanks enough. But appreciate Mark Prue and the entire Prue office down there in Waynesville. So thank you so much for being with us. I want to thank Alan Hilliard. He's our battle buddy in the media, so to speak, and he's with us through and through. And we'll be collaborating more and more as we go forward. You'll see some more collaboration between him and me and Pulaski Talks and Alan Hilliard Sports. I'll invite you to check him out. He's broadcasting our area sports for our sports players and stuff like that. There's his ad just popped up right there below. You can't believe what he puts in a lot of work for those kids and our local players. So A to Z extermination. We don't have bugs because we use A to Z extermination. So I invite everybody to check them out. They're reasonably priced. They got more positive reviews than you can count. And lastly, my good friend Dewey Resch and his team out there at Outlaw Lane outside of Crocker's remote control, radio controlled racing lane. They really put on a great show in competitive sports for sport racing. They really do the right thing, and they've got their own racetrack right there south of Crocker. I invite you to take a look at their website and get familiar with what they do and how they put on competitive racing. It's impressive. It really is. They got lap counters. They go all over the country, the Midwest, and race, and invite you all to get more familiar with that. And hopefully get some videos, and I'll post it on here shortly once the season kicks off. So thanks to Outlaw Lane Racing down there south of Crocker, Dewey Resch and his team. So without further ado, let's go to our gold sponsor, the Pru Law. If I could read. I don't want to read, so my ad don't want to play today. So that's going to be the must be the temper of the day. No, that's not going to work. How about this one?
Are you in need of legal assistance? Look no further than the Pru Law Office. Our experienced attorneys specialize in family and military law, criminal defense, and personal injury cases. We are dedicated to providing personalized and compassionate representation to our clients. Located on the square in Waynesville, just across the street from the courthouse, call us today at 573-774-6444 or by email at prulaw@aol.com for a free consultation. Pru Law Office, your trusted legal partner in Waynesville. Are you in need of legal assistance? Look no further than the Pru Law Office.
Well, the wonderful thing about technology, it can fail you at any time. But anyway, thanks again to Mark Pru and the Pru Law Office for being our gold sponsor through and through. But anyway, transitioning to or segueing to our goals and aspirations for this episode, second episode of 2025, is how we got here. What the subject or discussion topic was. Hey, we got a new mic. If I could show it to you, it's actually mounted to the table here. And it works pretty good, I got to say. But focus on transparency. We're, as far as big news media and stuff like that, we're all watching the confirmation hearings and stuff like that for the big government and big offices. But how we bring it home and talk about transparency in our local government. We got our taxes coming up. We got our county budget being developed. We got downsizing at the federal government. For those that are federal workers, got that email they're all talking about from HR@gov. Whatever that is. The media blitz, the confirmation hearings, this, that, and everything else is going on. So it seems like a good time to talk about it. So if you want to talk about it, you want to call in and talk about your thoughts about it, look at the number bottom right of the screen. Maybe it's your bottom left, but 573-408-0339. Would love to hear your thoughts about it. So, but the purpose today is try to stay on focus and specific to the local government. We got some elections. You'll see some ads pop up and stuff like that. And I just happened to see one. And we just got our tax statement. We just paid our taxes, local personal property taxes. And coincidentally, in January, we got a candidate notification for Waynesville High School Board. And Pulaski Talks asked him on his Facebook page, and I won't give the name, but what about looking at our school personal property taxes, which is the majority of our personal property taxes goes to our Waynesville High School. I mean, it is out of control. I mean, we got I would call it an NFL or NCAA quality football field, and I think it's time we take some scrutiny at our Waynesville High School budget. I mean, my goodness gracious. That thing got to be out of control. It's time to look at some cuts. We need some Elon Musk oversight down there to take a look at that. But it's time to, when you're looking at the candidates for Waynesville High School Board and high school system, I think it's time to engage them and have them invite them, tell them you want them to come on the show here and talk about their platforms and cost-cutting measures. Because if Elon Musk and Donald Trump can do it to the federal government, I think it's time we look at our local government and our local budgets, and look at cost-saving measures. Because I think it's about time that we take a hard look at our education system and some cost-cutting measures, cut out the fluff, so to speak. Well, I think it's time. I'm going to flip out the slides. I put some slides together just for some talking points, and if you feel free to call in or chime in or comment in and see if it works. And you never know, it may work. There it is. Look at that. It actually worked on time. But if I get the mouse to work. There it is. Random topics for chatting. Resign or else, and everybody in the federal government knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's the email that everybody got in the federal government, and I almost wanted to. I didn't know if it's outside my lane. Of course, this has not been endorsed, viewed, or scrutinized, or has nothing to do with the federal government, DOD, or anything to do with Fort Leonard Wood. It's my own little thing here. I'm in a personal discussion topics. But I wish I would have got AFGE, the local representatives from the union, to talk about this and what their thoughts on the matter. But if you'd like to talk about what your thoughts on, I put a poll out there. Didn't get too much of a response, but I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on the matter. Remember the number at the bottom of the screen. It'll only be live during the show. Don't call it when we're not on live. But I find it kind of interesting. It's kind of a lot of inconsistencies out there as far as messaging. Excuse me. You have the union presidents and offices, stuff like that, talk and say, don't do it. Some say do it. My initial thought of the process sure seemed like a pretty good deal, but I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say. Next line on the item in there is county budget updates. I haven't heard nothing about it. I know I've seen some postings from Daryl Todd Marina that they were looking at it. I've seen some kind of updates from the sheriff, Stacy Ball, and his chief deputy. Something about the fleet management, saving some money, but nothing as far as dollar numbers specific that I was able to interpret or extract from the post. It kind of get back to what I'm talking about as far as updating and being more transparent down there in the Pulaski County Courthouse as far as county government. But I gotta admit, the next line right there, Stacy's been busy this weekend. I just seen a couple of good updates, more efforts towards transparency as far as updates from the sheriff's department. He has promised as part of his platform was to be more transparent. From the prior administration, it appears he's working towards that effort. I look forward to seeing more of that, more of the digital or online town halls. Of course, Stacy knows, and so does his chief deputy knows they're welcome to come on the show anytime, virtually or physically, and give an update as to what's going on, the happenings down in and around the county. As that same goes to any of the municipal law enforcement officers or chiefs can come on the show anytime and talk about the good things that are going on in their offices, but spread the good news, because otherwise nobody knows what's going on unless they tell the good story. Next line he got there is transparency down in the Waynesville County Courthouse. Now, like I said, I'm going to transition real quick to the next slide. DTM can't do it all. Anybody got an idea who I'm talking about there? I think you do. Daryl Todd Marina. Right now, we rely almost solely, completely, and wholly on Daryl Todd Marina's posts on Facebook and what we get. So hopefully soon, capability will be implemented down there in Waynesville, the commissioner's office, that maybe we can broadcast something like that, what's going on down there, and generate some thoughtful discussion. Next line down there is lessons learned from observations from the storm. Now, this is what I see, and this is one of my pet peeves so far, just based on prior experiences and stuff like that. Having been around the globe a couple of times and a little bit of experience this and that, I haven't seen anything generated from downtown as far as lessons learned or observations from the storm. A timeline of what happened, what should have happened, what can be improved. I don't know who the key individual would be to generate this or lead this effort so that our offices and personnel and leadership from our county officials and offices could improve and do better next time. I have reached out personally, and as has Daryl Todd Marina, to the director of our emergency management office via email and on Facebook with no response. And I'm hoping we can reach out sooner than later in an effort to learn more about what that office is scheduled and programmed to do by statute, what the funding allocated to that office is by statute supposedly to be used for, and what it has been used for to this point over the years. If I remember right, last look at the budget is like $50,000 a year, plus a truck and mileage and gas and a home use vehicle and this and that and cell phone usage. So I would that goes to the next line, our emergency operations center. And I think everybody deserves to know exactly what the capabilities, capacity, and what the operation status and what it's to be used for. During the storm, I never received a single alert through that alert mechanism for the phone system. I engaged with the mayor of St. Robert about my concern, having not received that, and I believe it was confirmed that there may or may not have been messages, but I can't confirm that myself. But I never received any messages. My household never received any message regarding the storms, and I couldn't believe the only updates I received regarding down roads or limbs or traffic was Stacy Ball, our sheriff, driving around, which I thought was impractical. And the whole concept behind this, or the whole problem or concern I have with this, is that we should not, as residents and taxpayers of the county, should not have to go out to Facebook or any other platform and pull information, seek, find, and pull information, specifically when it comes to emergency management or related operations. They should be pushed out to us through a reliable system without a bottleneck. Yes, it is. That is a system, a hyper threat or hyper alert. Check it out on the emergency management system. Matter of fact, Dixon just promoted it, and I inquired on Dixon's city website whether this looked like it was their own site. It was their own hyper alert, I can't remember the name of it. But actually, they're just tagging along with the county site, but I have not yet received a single notification. Now, last year during the election, I had both the county commissioners down here, and asking them and inquiring them, why are we not using this system for our road and bridge crews to alert personnel in specific coordinates or within specific areas when there are roads down, bridges down, telephone lines down, alerts, so that people can know on their way to work or the way home that there's construction on their way. They say, that's a good idea. Did I hear anything else back? No. I don't understand that. It's like you hit an information vacuum. But thanks, Nick. I appreciate the question. I know, Terry. Thank you so much, Terry Barley. It is easily to find and sign up for. However, the question is, I have yet to see the circle be completed, as in, where are my alerts? I've signed up twice now. Now, I've seen nothing on the emergency operations Facebook page that says what's the status of it. I heard they had troubles. I talked to the mayor of Waynes or St. Robert. I hear they have troubles with it. There's some bottleneck somewhere, and I can't get a response from what's his name, Mr. Silva, Hector Silva. Won't answer the email, so I'm getting kind of concerned. I'm very, very frustrated about this system I don't know how much we're paying for, but yes, I agree with you, Mr. Baylor or Barler. It is very easy to sign up for, and if it's working, I don't know, and nobody has proven it to me. I got a notification, I signed up for it, I get a little alert on my iPhone that says it's tracking your location. Hey, that's good. I can get that point, but I'd like somebody to come on the show, or at least come on the broadcast on our Facebook page rather than a post, and demonstrate it, prove that it works, and let us know if we're actually paying a cost for this, because I'm telling you what, these tax dollars are being spent, and we don't know how they're being spent, and I think we need to demonstrate the validity of this system. And I actually made an argument to the mayor or St. Robert. I said, I think St. Robert needs to go their own way, because this system does not seem to be trustworthy, because, like I said, I never got a single alert during the storm. And to get any updates regarding the status of the road conditions, it took our county sheriff to go out there, drive around at risk of his own life and vehicle, i.e. tax dollars, to tell us what the status of the roads were. And it should not. I could have called into some IOC. Consider this. Now, just from what lies south of St. Robert, that piece of property out there has some similar in function. but they have spotters, i.e. storm watchers, i.e. road watchers, that can go out to the front door and tell them, hey, my road is iced over. Who do I contact? How about contacting the IOC? Rather than having the sheriff's deputy put their life at risk and just notify, hey, I'm at 125 Bocephus Avenue. The roads are ice. Don't make excuses, Mr. Pappas. I don't want to hear them. This has been out for a year. I'm sure there are hiccups, but I don't want to hear them. I bet we're paying thousands of dollars for it. It's ridiculous. I don't want excuses. I want answers. Accountability is what I want. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to flip the slide. Let me see. Going to the county chat. Budget execution. We're going to flip the chart. I'm going to go down to the budget. Now, every year they do a budget. Anybody got any idea what the timeline is? Is it annually? Is it calendar year? Is it, I don't know what the fiscal year. I wish I would have called, what's his name? The treasurer. Oh, I bet you're playing devil's advocate. You're just trying to stir shit up. I'm sorry, stir stuff up. But anyway, Mac Wilkinson. But the only update as far as budget execution by our offices down at the county courthouse are what we see from Daryl Todd Marine and what we have to dig into on the county website. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much. If understanding that the county office holders are elected individuals and they don't work for each other, they work with each other. And but wouldn't it be nice if they gave us an update to each of the offices, give the voters an update as far as how well they're executing their budget and how well the county's spending our money, rather than us having to dig for it. And it goes back to delegation. I don't know if I actually got another slide. I was working on another slide. Oh, come on. I probably didn't update it. Dadgummit. We actually delegate responsibility to our office holders down there in Waynesville and in our city governments and our county governments and our state governments and our federal government and church and schools to do things for us that we don't want to do. That includes maintain the roads and the jails and the police and stuff like that. So we trust them to do something, but we don't oftentimes follow up with them. We want to know how well they're doing. So with the county budget, I think it would be a good thing if they updated us periodically on how well they're doing in managing our money. I guarantee you know how much money's in your bank account and how well it's being spent. You track it by the penny. I guarantee the entity that lies directly south of St. Robert knows to the penny by Monday by every workday by 10 o'clock in the morning. Those budget analysts and budget officers and resource managers know to the penny how much money has been spent by the fiscal year. By the penny. How much money has been spent by the fiscal year, keeping that entity south of Fort Leonard Wood going. So I'm assuming it can be done down in that county courthouse. And I'm assuming it could be presented to a layman such as yourselves and myself as to the status of the execution. They have a budget. How well did they execute it? Yeah, I just looked on the website, Nick. Nick just posted that many budgets just got approved. Our county puts up to it on the county clerk's page. It isn't just there yet. Understand. But once again, it goes back to my earlier premise. I should not have to go out and push or pull, seek and find and pull information from an outdated, terrible website that we spent $3,500 a year for. Yes, you heard me right, $3,500 a year for. It's not even secure. If you look at the top left of that website, at the domain where you type in the header, it's not even secure. The basic principle of securing a domain, it's not even secure. I don't get it. But anyway, $3,500 a year. And I guarantee they haven't hired anybody local to do it. Tax dollars not being spent local. Now, I believe the rule is that if you spend over $10,000, you have to bid it out. I'd like to see who that check is being made out to. I think others would like to see that too. Not accusing anybody of anything. Don't get me wrong. But I think it should be of our interest for exactly what we're getting for our money. Well, it's transparent for $3,500 every year. for the past X number of years according to the budget. But going back to the budget that just passed, the only one I heard speak of it was Stacy Ball, the sheriff's officer, talking about the budget. But I would like to see, dadgummit, I just wish I had. Give me a second here, folks. Oh, there it is. Look at that chart. It's a beauty chart. There it comes up. Now, I created this in about 15 minutes with some fictitious data, FY25 and stuff like that. I could have populated this with data from their budget, talk about execution. This would reflect their budgets throughout the first execution in different quarters of different years. And you could put in there their budget, what they planned, and what they actually expended in each of the fiscal years. First quarter, we planned this much, we executed this much. And they could get online behind a chair and brief each of the county officers could brief the voters, you and me, on why they didn't meet their budget execution or their planned budget, why they overspent or underspent, what their plan was, how they resolved it, did they adjust their budget, did they give back their budget, et cetera, because I guaranteed that entity down south of St. Robert does this every single quarter. Every single quarter, at least once a month, to the bosses. What's the status of your budget? It's being tracked. And at mid-year, it's tracked by the headquarters outside of the entity south of St. Robert. I think we deserve to know. I think for too long, we have been left to our own devices to go out and drill for gold. Drill for data, drill for information, rather than the information being pushed to us in a manner that we can all understand and be conversant of. Oh, got a package. Love that. It's like Christmas. But I think you should all, if you agree with me, reach out to Dave Ernst. He is the Chief Financial Officer of the county. And he is responsible for the budget, not Mac Wilkerson, but Dave Ernst. And I'm going to engage. I'm not going to engage if I think it's self-evident that this should be the way it should be. I just can't believe we don't do this now. Stacy Ball and Chief Deputy Rex, hopefully, will be doing something of this sort in the near future. Stacy was a big-time proponent of this during the pre-election days, talking about virtual or real-time town halls, giving updates and transparent with his budget, what he's executed and what he hasn't, what he's planned for, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm willing to give him some time and to get his feet underneath him and stuff like that. He has had a busy time, but he has done this. I'll give him credit where credit is due. He is publishing updates on Facebook virtually, but note of caution to Mr. Sheriff Stacy Ball. I should not have to go out to social media to find the information. Hint, hint. If we have a global alert system supposedly that works, maybe that's a great way for you to notify the public that to go look for the information at least that you publish somewhere, whether it be on the Facebook page, the website, or somehow, or text messages. Maybe you could have your own system to text non-emergency information out. But once again, we should not have to go pull information out from our office holders. We should be receiving the information periodically. And there's enough technology out there to make that happen without costing a penny. My thoughts alone, but I think it's the right thing to do. Let me see if I can get back to the earlier slide. There we go. Budget performance review by the office holder. Office holders reporting to the voters, not to each other. Did you realize that? I just thought of that there while I was getting ready for the show. The office holders report to each other, even though they don't work for each other. And there's no, at least in my mind, there's no sense of accountability when it comes to that. It's like, so what? So if the sheriff goes over budget and the county commissioner yells at him a little bit, so what? He doesn't work for the county commissioner. He works for you and me. If the county clerk goes over budget and the county commissioner yells at him, so what? Doesn't work for the county commissioner. Same with road and bridge, et cetera, et cetera. They're just trying to balance nickels and dimes. Now, I understand that's probably not the way it works, but still, it's the reality of the situation. The only ones that can hold them to account are you and I, the voters. And I would think that in the effort of doing the most good and for the greater good, it's a hint out to the term that I used with the St. Robert mayor, in an effort to pursue the greater good for the county, they would pursue a means to display their capability and capacity to manage not only the resources that we bestow upon them, i.e. tax dollars, to use via personnel, equipment, facilities, that they manage these well enough to and earn the dollars that we pay them, that they're pleasantly able to present to us how well they did it on a periodic basis, monthly, quarterly, annually, what have you. And I don't see why that would be such a problem here. I'm hoping one of these days in the near future, now near future could be 1-2 years, could be who knows, that I'll be able to go down, or a representative of Pulaski Talks will be able to sit in on some of these county commissioner meetings and updates that take up 1 or 2 lines of Darryl Todd Marina's time because he's so busy. Maybe even broadcast or generate some discussion on the topics. But I guarantee it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Generating more controversies. And I was accused of doing that by somebody, I won't name names, in some office, in some political party. I only generate controversy. Well, maybe that's what it takes. Controversy stirs things up a little bit. I got to vote, you got to vote, and maybe it's time we use those votes or hold our elected officials accountable for what we want. If we want them to be accountable to us, the voting public, for our tax dollars, that includes not only our county office holders, but our school district offices and the whole office holders, they need to answer to us. And in light of our leadership in Washington, D.C., giving us an example, our, platform demonstrated by President Trump of cost cutting aggressively, maybe we need to look to them as an example to look at our own books here in the Pulaski County, school districts and county offices for cost-cutting opportunities and get our freaking personal property taxes under control. Because my goodness gracious, it is ridiculous. And for somebody who doesn't have kids in school and hasn't had kids in school for decades, I think it's out of control. I really do. I don't care what other districts pay. I really don't. That's not our problem. It's not our concern. I think we worry about our own district, our own taxes that we have to pay. So if you're interested in something like that, if you think that rings a bell and it has a good tone, so to speak, you're welcome to call in and talk about it. I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm going to be on the air for how long have I been on? 46 minutes. So that means at least until I'm going to hold the line for 15 more minutes. If I don't get any calls, I'm going to log off. But I do promise you this. I'm going to hopefully in the near future, 1 week to 1 month to 1 quarter year, put together a platform where it's regularly scheduled programming, attendings or not. And we may even become mobile. Thanks to the generosity of T-Mobile, we've got internet on the go. And with internet on the go means I can broadcast on the go from anywhere. And with our friend Alan Hilliard, he knows the power of T-Mobile on the go. It can go anywhere and it can go pretty fast as long as you got signal. So I'm hoping to be able to use that technology inside the Waynesville courthouse. You never know. Lastly, transitioning to something less controversial. Uh, if you are a business owner, if you know of a new business that would like to come on the show and talk about what you do and what you get, what you have to offer the community, that deserves more than just a simple Facebook post, and hopefully people sharing it. And you're like me, you can't really afford to go out there and buy ads on Facebook and social media for $100 a month or whatever you have. You are more than welcome to come on this show and talk for a half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll pepper you with questions to help promote your business for no cost whatsoever. I'll even help you build an ad, video ad, or whatever. If I got time, I'll help you do that. But we'll come on the show. We'll talk about what you do and what you give back to the community at no cost whatsoever. Just ring me up or send a message. Hit me up on the Facebook. I know going back to, there's an email address at the bottom of this. And but if you know a business, try and start out. I know of a couple that I haven't seen on page yet, but people would rather know who they're coming in to see by face with the name. I know who you are because I see you on Pulaski Talks talking about you. You can talk to the people that have been on there before and how much it's benefited their business. It helps so much to put a face with a name. I know your voice because I've heard you, I've seen you. Talk to A to Z and talk to the few others that have been on the show. And I'm looking for a few others to come on the show shortly, talk about, because you only know what you know and you don't know what you don't know. And I think I'm pretty good at drawing out the best of what you know about your business and share it with the general public and help you grow as best as you can. So, but if you know a business, you are a business, you're just starting out, and you'd like to come on the show virtually or in person, I got lots of room at this table. It's a big old dining room table, and I got lots of microphones. Or if you're and you'd like to come on the show, just let me know. Or if you'd like to talk about a subject that's near and dear to your heart, and you'd like to argue. Now, I like to argue. I like to admit when I'm wrong. It's like racquetball. Back in the day when I didn't weigh what I weigh, and the joints and around my knees and hips worked like they should, I loved to play racquetball. I wasn't any good at it, and I didn't mind losing, but I loved to play racquetball. Just like an argument. I love the argument, but I don't mind losing an argument as long as the facts are facts and everybody's clean and shake hands when they're done. But if you'd like to have an argument, a discussion, a thorough dialogue between people, well, come on down. We can do it online. We can have a podcast amongst friends, amongst enemies, whatever you want. As long as it's cordial, or as long as it's not, as long as I put a disclaimer on the screen, you may get some language that you may or may not like in here. No fisticuffs, please. But we all have our own opinions and stuff like that. But and I have my own as well. So, but I think with that, we're going to wrap it up for today. It is Sunday. Everybody's probably still at church and doing their thing with that. It is a beautiful day right now. It is 59 degrees at 12:37 p.m. I hope everybody has a great day, and look for postings here soon about the furtherance of the schedule. But I'm developing a programming update soon and a regular scheduled programming with hopefully with some routine partners and discussion topics, and who knows, maybe even some special programming. So with that, unless somebody's got something for me, we'll hang on the line for about 5 more minutes. The mic going silent. And if you want, I can turn on the elevator music. No? Okay, I'll just go silent for a little bit. So, but I'm surprised my technical counterparts didn't show up today. You know, my goose and lady. So I got 5 minutes left. So if you got anything to say, dial me up now. Well, we're going to break it free right now. I got a nap that's calling me. It is Sunday afternoon, by the way. And I appreciate you, those that are tuning in now, and especially those that are tuning in later. Please like, follow, and share. Let everybody know what we're about and what we're trying to do. If you got some ideas for or topics you'd like for us to engage on and talk about, I am more than happy to think about and contribute to any way I can for the betterment of our community and the improvement of our knowledge flow and transparency of our elected officers and officials for the betterment of our community, most of all. So, of course, I don't have all the answers, but I think I got some pretty good ideas. So, with that, hasta la vista, and have a great